As you can see here in the comments, somebody said, show us a hive with a problem. Well, I found one. Did you jinx me? Hey everybody, David Burns, good to be with you. And yeah, this hive not doing good on the entrance. Time to take a look. I went to check on the honey supers and no bees up there. Yikes. Time to dive in. I'm going to show you an unconventional way of solving this problem. I mean, you can follow the books, you can follow the literature and do it the, traditional way. I'm going to use a technique that might blow your mind. How to solve this hive issues. Let's dive in. Good exercise today to try to pick this heavy box up. Oh, it's not horrible, but it's not good. Look at that. There's no bees in there at all. So the bees are not going up into this super and not going up into that one. So this is one of those examples when you have a hive that is not behaving. I mean, like the one we just looked at, they were already tearing up the top box and doing crazy good stuff. And so we're going to take a look at this hive, see what's going on. Okay, so let's start at the bottom and start looking, and then we'll build our way back up. Low population. Somebody's been laying drone brood about 6-7 days ago. That could be just drones, like laying workers, but we'll see. Ooh, look at that. Look at all the eggs and larvae in there. But then there's no capped over brood that shows us that it's worker brood. Everything capped over, it appears to be drone brood. So what we do here is we look carefully to see if we see more than one egg in a cell, okay? Let me get the sun working with me here. No, those are good single eggs. It's not showing signs of laying workers. So they could have just recently become queen, right? We got a lot more to investigate. This is a problem hive. This is a problem child. Can you say problem child, Patrick? Is that a word you can use anymore?
Yeah, I think so.
Oh, okay. Were you a problem child?
Oh, yeah.
I don't know if I was a problem child, but I caused problems, so maybe so. Maybe I was. All right, so we're trying to diagnose, figure out what's going on in this hive. Right now, we know we can really make drones really well, but drones don't do any work other than mate with virgin queens and a few other tiny little things. So where's our workforce? They have bee bread, which means they have nutrition. Not seeing a single queen. Wow, look at all that nutrition. Oh, that's pollen and bee bread. They have a lot of food. Okay, so strange that it has eggs and larvae. Those eggs are single eggs, but to me, those still could be worker, or those could still be drone eggs. I'm just trying to see, is there a queen in here before I drop another one in here? There's a queen cage, California mini cage from a long time ago. Maybe last year. And a little cell that has a cup that has nothing in it. But I'm not seeing the queen. But we have another box to look at. We're starting at the bottom one this time. Working our way up. And oftentimes the bottom is like this. It doesn't have a lot going on sometimes this time of the year. Okay, nectar, bee bread. They got a lot of good resources. Wow, more bee bread. So they could raise a lot of brood, which they're not doing. Okay, we're done looking. This hive, we need to look at the next heap. We stole the green drone comb. So now we're absent a frame.
You got a frame in your cart.
Oh. That was nice.
Way to plan ahead.
That's right. I planned so well, I even forgot that I planned.
There you go.
Okay, so let's put the other deep on and see if we see any better signs of life in the next deep box, which I don't think I was very impressed with it either, but maybe. Oh yeah, it looks better than that one. All right, so we want to look at these frames, see if we see brood, eggs, larvae, pupae, see if we see a queen. Otherwise, we have to requeen ASAP for sure. Take a frame out right here to give us some working room. This is how you solve problems, my friend. I mean, if you think beekeeping is easy and you're not going to ever have a problem, it just means you haven't kept bees very long. It's easy for bees to develop issues pretty quickly. Nectar and nectar. No brood. Honey. No brood. Queen cup. Nothing in it. It's going to be the same way all the way down the pike. All right. Now, a lot of times people would see this hive. It has no brood at all except drone brood. And they might say, well, we just need to combine this with another hive. That's why there's a lot of right answers. Okay, that would be a good way to do it. But in my case, there's so many good weeks left. And I'm going to show you, yeah, this is a queenless colony. Been queenless far too long. So what we're going to do is we're going to remove all the frames that aren't drawn out. We can always use those somewhere else.
Small hive beetle in there on that last frame.
Oh yeah, I see it now. Whoops, sorry. Okay, so we're going to remove all the frames that have nothing on them. One. So we need to make a place for 4 frames to come in here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. One more. Very good. Take this one out. Now let's leave that one. It's got some wax on it. Let's try to get this one out of there. Right here. Okay. Okay, so now what we have is 6 frames here. In a queenless hive, they have a lot of resources, a lot going on for them, but no queen, no brood, possibly laying workers. So I'm going to show you what I'm going to attempt to do. And you may not like this method. You might want to use traditional book methods of following the book and combine this with another hive, or just shake the bees off in the yard somewhere and just use these frames somewhere else in your apiary. But I want to show you a trick. I'm going to see how this works. I don't know if it's going to work the way I want it to, but I'm hoping it will. You know what I'm going to do yet, Patrick?
You're going to take one of those mating nukes and stick your frames in here.
I am.
I didn't know if you were going to put them in the middle, though, or stick them on the end.
In the middle.
Okay.
Yeah. Because that's where the brood goes, and that's what the queen is already doing. Now, the idea is, well, David, you know, you run the risk of these bees fighting and there being problems. Are you worried about that? And not a whole lot, because there's just not a lot of bees in there. The morale's down pretty big. There's not a queen pheromone in that hive that I really think. So in this case, I think they're going to be glad to get that boost. And it's a way for me to use that queen and all of the eggs that she's been laying to help this hive out. So let's go over and get one that we looked at earlier. I want to get the one that had the most bees in it, which, yeah, definitely was this one, as I remember. You can see all those bees. We need bees. So let's take this whole box over there. Now, when I do that, there'll be foragers that will collect right by that stand right there. And you may wonder, where will they go? I guarantee you that it will not take more than an hour or two, and they will all be going into this box right here. I've done this for years. It works so well. Now, another question that many of you might ask is, wouldn't it have been better to have moved that hive that mating nuke over here at night when all your foragers are inside, and then put something bigger in there. That way you would have the foraging force that could help this hive grow. Absolutely, that would be the ideal thing to do. And I might yet do that. I might go ahead and put these 4 in there just for the brood and the queen, and then I might come back in a day or so at night and do exactly that. But I'll leave a queen on a frame in the mating nuke, and I'll just, at night, I'll move over the foragers over here, 4 frames, or 3 frames out of 4, and that way I could get foragers. So it's a way to use 2 mating nukes to boost up 1 hive. But for now, let's get some brood in there. Let's get a queen and some brood. This one's on the outside, so we'll put it right there. This one's next. And this one. Another reason why raising queens and having, you know, in my case, I got like these mating nukes that are available to be used as resource hives. So I can go and use them, the frames in them, to help boost a colony like this. Ooh, that's a lot of eggs. Yep, that's going to really be good. All right, let's get some more smoke. This frame has the most bees on it. Wow. And the queen is on this frame at the bottom. I see her down there, right in the middle there. And she's a nice sized queen, isn't she? I really want her to go in like that, because I'm going to have to push this frame down in there, and I don't want to injure her the way this worked out. So make a little bit bigger of a space right here. All right. Perfect. All right, good. We're giving them a little boost of 4 frames, a queen. She's on her frames. But I do like the idea of coming back and maybe one night holding a queen out over there and just capturing all the foragers and bringing them over here, and then putting my big thing in the front to make them take a new orientation flight. Now we have a problem with that extra stuff that they built here. This hive already looks better. Look at that. That's the way a hive's supposed to look. So we have some stuff right here in the bees. The reason I wanted to make sure that I saw the queen is because I didn't want her to be on that or in the box, and that's why I had to find her. And we're just going to shake them in here. Got most of them off. Yeah. All right. And we just picked up 4 frames now that we can use somewhere else. That's cool. All right. Make sure everybody's kind of pushed together toward the middle well. Looks good. All right. Let's put our supers back on. Now, the question is, though, these supers are too much for this hive. These 2 boxes here are just going to give too much empty space and not enough bees to watch it. So these are not going back on here. I need this hive to be condensed into 2 deeps to grow before we put any supers on. So we're going to leave it just like this, and we're going to find a better home of a hungry hive to work this. And I think it's going to be one back here that we looked at earlier. And so now, to deal with those 2 boxes, we're going to put them on this hive that's exploding and filling up supers. And so I got one super that's not got any resources in it, so I'm going to put it on there first. I believe it was this one. Yeah, it's real lightweight. Yep, and then we'll put the other one on top of that one. Oh, this is getting taller than I am. You got any supers you want to add? We have just have a bunch of people bring all their supers over.
Maybe a TV antenna?
Yeah. Okay, so it's time to shake our bees off. Get them off the top cover, smoker. All right. Now, Patrick, you can't hardly film the top of that, can you?
No, I need a ladder.
I know. All right, very good. Wow, that's at least 5 feet. Another example of how quickly a hive can fail on you and how quickly you need to respond. So we're a little bit behind the 8 ball here, but gives you a good example of the problem solution methods that I employed here. It's one way to do it. There's a lot of ways to do it. Like I said, I know you're going to leave a comment and say, this is how I would have done it. This is the way you should have done it. But this is just what I've experienced over the years. This is how I like to do it. I've got a lot of mating nooks that are itching to help out a hive, resource hives. So let's just keep this one going and see if I can pull it off by giving them these 4 frames and a queen on her frames. And we'll just keep watching. That's why you need to subscribe to my channel so you can see how all of these little maneuvers and techniques really do work out. If you want to see another video where I'm dealing with another weak hive, take a look at this video here. I'll see you guys over there.